Thank you for staying on. It's time for you to get busy on your phones, and we want you to pick up your phone. The WhatsApp number is 05555 Are you a Menzgold customer? What are your experiences? There's a petition that has come to our notice that is aimed at the president acting on behalf of Menzgold customers. What do you think about the whole Menzgold situation? Is Namwan going to get prosecuted? Is he not? The AG says it is involved, and some charges are going to be brought against Nana Appiah Mensah. Not quite clear what those charges are, but if your money is caught up in there, I'm betting that you are wondering when you will get your monies back. The assets of the company have been frozen, and the business obviously has been suspended, and some legal charges are being brought against the. But as all that continues and as the dust remains unsettled on the future of Menzgold, aggrieved customers of the defunct company have petitioned President Akufo to use his highest prerogative of mercy and compassion and order payment of their locked-up investments. Compassion, mercy, order payment. Those are the three things on the table now. The convener of the group, they call themselves the Aggrieved Customers of Menzgold, Mr. Frederick Forson, has joined us in the studio. Mr. Forson, good morning.
Good morning.
Aggrieved Customers of Menzgold.
Yes.
Is that, as the name suggests, all
yes,
of you
please.
who have your monies locked up in this impasse between legal and illegal?
Yes, that's what the name suggests.
How many are you?
For the coalition and per the data we compiled and submitted same to Parliament, we are around 10,300, in excess of 10,300. About
10,300 in this coalition alone?
Yes, please.
And how much money in total are you looking at?
It's around 716 million Ghana cedis.
716 million?
Yes, please.
Ghana cedis. That is what Menzgold owes all the people who have signed with you, 10,300 plus of them.
Yes, please.
And you're asking for that money to be paid to you.
Yes.
By who?
It's the more reason why we appealed to the president yesterday, and we asked that, the Constitution of the Republic of Ghana gives or confers a lot of powers. One of them is for him to show mercy and compassion to the citizenry.
Why are you asking for mercy and compassion if you believe you are entitled to get your monies back? Why are you asking? Why are you calling on the emotions of the president and of the nation?
It's one of them because this Menzgold issue is a national issue. Just that as a nation we have not taken the pain to sit down and actually look into the issues. Maybe as we go on, I'll be bringing up certain things and you come to understand the point of view of the customers. And the president is like a tree having a lot of branches. We have some of the branches that are green, that are ripe fruits. Some are about to be ripe, and so
which of the branches are you?
So the one we are plugging this time, or we're trying to involve this time, is the Article 72, which talks about, even though it's about having been sentenced by the law court, and when the president look at it and say, okay, let me grant them some pardon or show them some mercy. But the bottom line, or at the end of the day, what they seek to do is to bring reformation to that person who goes through such an experience. And for 4 years, yesterday was the 4th year that marked the closure of Menzgold, and we have gone through a lot of pain. 185.
So are you asking for reformation for Nana Appiah Mensah, or
no,
are you asking for your monies back?
I haven't come to. That's what I'm saying. Let me work it so that I get it. So we are saying that the president has the power to show compassion. The president has the power to show mercy.
I've got that bit.
Onto people. And so we are appealing to him for a special intervention in this matter, so that at the end of the day, the customers will be paid. And in the petition, just as you read, you remember when the field banks issue happened in 2018, government rolled out a bailout plan. So in addition to sort of invoking the compassionate aspect of the president, we are also reminding him or appealing to him that that bailout plan that he rolled out for the affected customers, he should please extend it to the victims of Menzgold.
The authorities in this case had severally issued statements to say don't do business with this company because it's out sanctioned. Yeah. And the perception is that if you keep doing it, then you did it at your own risk. Yeah. So you are investing thousands and thousands of money into this company against, as you said, let's call it the government's better judgment. Okay. Because a communication was put out not once or twice, a number of times, not to do business. So the banks that were destabilized and for which reason government spent 25 million to rescue the industry are legitimate registered legal deposit taking businesses, whereas Menzgold not as much. So
I like two important words that you are using: legitimate deposit taking institution. So let's take note of the word legitimate and deposit. The warnings that you were talking about, it started in 2014. In fact, to be precise, October 28, 2014. This is the document. Bank of Ghana, they did a research into Menzgold, and the warnings, they provide all the warnings and all that. It's there. They are right. I mean, it's there. They give out, when you go online, you Google, Bank of Ghana issued this warning, SEC issued this statement. But at the end of it, there is this conclusion that was drawn. Thelma, this is the conclusion. And in the conclusion, after having given all those warnings, they said that there is the need to conduct further investigation into the operations of Menzgold, and for the relevant institutions to coordinate actions to close down the operations of the two companies. And here they were referring to Menzgold and Brie Marketing, and to prosecute the directors and relevant officers for the breaches of the law. So they said that after all the warnings and what happened. Then they also said is that there is also the need to consider how to protect the monies paid to the companies by the customers, even though the customers themselves might have themselves or to engage in an illegal activity by depositing funds with Menzgold and Brie Marketing. But the last part that I read says that even though they did this, but they need to protect their money. That is the first thing. But this research was done before the day Security and Exchange Commission went out there to shut the company. Then your word legitimate. The Act 929 Section 123, which is the Security and Industry Act, that mandates SEC, Security and Exchange Commission, to go into the operations of Menzgold, and even gave them the right to go and shut down the company. The Section 123, subsection 2A says this. The 2 says that where the commission is satisfied that a person has obtained money without a license, or contrary to the terms of the license of the person. So here, the banks you refer to, or the fund management companies having a license. Then they also zoom in onto Menzgold, which in their view was not licensed. So he has obtained money without license. It said that the commission shall, that is mandatory, SEC didn't have any option, they were mandated to do, shall in writing instruct that person, and in this case, that person Menzgold who didn't have a license, to do what? A, repay all the monies obtained and the profit accruing to that person. So this was mandated. SEC was supposed to instruct Menzgold that whatever monies you have paid onto Menzgold, they should instruct them to pay onto us.
That hasn't happened?
They never did.
SEC never asked Menzgold to pay its customers back?
Never did that. This one, in respect of this one.
You can have your say,
I'm sure,
but we will reserve the right to verify and cross-check any information. So until we do that, you reserve the right to your comments.
No, we're saying this. Okay, you let me go ahead.
Okay.
Then 2B says that return asset acquired as a result of the illegally obtained money or deposit. So here, taking deposit illegal, yes, But the framers of the law thought of this day that a time will come in the history of time that a company or a person might collect people's money without license. But they didn't say take them to court only to prosecute. But the first and foremost thing is that
get their monies back.
Get their monies back.
In the past, when such they've come to be known as Ponzi schemes, and we saw the word being used around the same time as the Menzgold issue. I'm just suggesting to you that if, assuming without admitting, because the matter is still in court, that Menzgold is indeed found to be a Ponzi scheme, if we see how other Ponzi schemes were treated and handled, and the customers were treated, do you have the sense that this would be different?
You see, that word Ponzi scheme is a stranger to the law. That word is a stranger to the law. The law doesn't talk about Ponzi scheme. I'm not a lawyer. I'm just giving you my understanding.
You're just leading a group of aggrieved customers.
Yes, and my understanding. So that word Ponzi scheme and Menzgold, we are here. I'm doing strategic communication. I am here, or we are talking about how we can be paid, how we can retrieve our money. And so our beef, our problem is not what happened before 12 September. Our problem with the state began on the 12th of September. Per this research, the conclusion they themselves drew, and per the law. And Thelma, I have with me the letter that SEC wrote, 7th September 2018, notice to suspend trading without license. This letter was written on the 7th, but Menzgold was shut down on the 12th. How come? Where the office of SEC is, Security and Exchange Commission to Menzgold, I'm not sure it will take a day before you get there. And this letter was written on the 7th, and it was on the 12th that Menzgold was shut down. So within that 5 days, Menzgold was still taking deposit or taking money.
And within
whose responsibility it was to ensure that this letter get to them? That is another question that, as a state or as a people, we must also find out what happened.
That's a legitimate question. You would say. May I suggest that it's also legitimate for customers to heed the warnings by the issuing authorities, in this case, Security and Exchanges and its partners. Just don't put your money there.
You see, the argument for the warning, I've told you that warning started in 2014.
And nobody listened.
Listen, and what I'm saying is that...
And none of you listened until it was shut down in 2018.
The authority is the law. The warning, the weight of the warning is not heavier than the law. Okay. So the warning came until 12 September. Okay. So at the point of closing down Menzgold, you are under an instruction. You are under a command to write to Menzgold to pay us. You didn't do it. That is the thrust of our argument. So you are right. You are right to have.
Do the customers know if Menzgold has a bank account? Where was these monies being paid? Where were they? Which account was being paid into? Because you're asking basically for the president to intervene and give you your monies back. But Sikanwe, where's the money?
That's why we said the compassionate aspect of the president. And you know, when Menzgold collapsed, I was going to show you another thing.
Show me.
I was going to demonstrate another thing to you. So this collapse on the 12th thing happened. 12 September, January 2019, 5 good months before the state went to court and said court should freeze the company's asset and the bank account. Meanwhile, the company was shut down on the 12th. So for 5 good months, that space, Menzgold and its allies, they could do anything with their properties, they could do anything with their bank account. Is there more reason why now they tell us, oh, some of the properties that we even seized will be there, and somebody will come and say that property doesn't belong to number one. For 5 good months, you announced a closure of the company. You did not go ahead to take over the asset, to preserve the asset for 5 months. So these things, so it's not about the warnings you gave to us. I said the warning, the effect of those warnings ended on the 12th. But at the time that you took lock to go and lock the company, you were supposed to have followed the law. That is the Menzgold victim story. It is not about whether number one has the capacity to pay or not. It's not about whether Menzgold was a Ponzi scheme or not. It's not about whether we were won or not. All those things, you are fine. It's good. You are right. We are greedy. Yes, you are correct. You the boss, you the master. Call us the names by the Attorney General or the Finance Minister. You decide. But the point on the 12th of September, that is where the actual issues start from. And from this, that is why I'm interested that there's a national conversation on the matter so that we all find out or debate, talk about it and see whether government should really go in and bail out the Menzgold customers.
Okay, so was there a communication between customers and managers of Menzgold at that time that your monies would be paid back to you? Was there an assurance
after
of that?
After the collapse?
Yes, after the offices were locked.
Well, yes, they came up with a lot of them and none of them materialized.
There was
a payment plan.
A payment plan is what I'm looking for.
He paid only 2 people.
2 people?
1, 2. The first one was giving 4,000 Ghana cedis. The second one too was giving 4,000 cedis.
But you're asking for 716 million
that is
Ghana cedis.
The money we invested.
But where is the money?
Not the government.
Because we know that the economic situation, government has admitted that the country in itself is facing liquidity or money issues. So
not liquidity in cedis. Our monies are in cedis. It may be in dollars, but our monies are in cedis.
Let me invite people to join our conversation. Our WhatsApp is 055-556103. Menzgold customers want their money back. They are asking on the president to, from his highest prerogative of mercy and compassion, order the payment of their locked up president. What are your thoughts? I'll be interested in knowing what you think about this. Some 10,300 plus customers have come together to form a group known as the Aggrieved customers of Menzgold, and they are asking for their initial investment totaling 716 million Ghana cedis. The convener, Mr. Frederick Forson, is at the table, and I'm asking you some questions because before you trust your monies to someone, you must have trust in the person's ability to deliver, ability to pay and repay. So if a group of people decided that they have monies, and I've heard stories about people who borrowed and people who used other people's monies one way or the other and put them there. So you went in, and when the profits were good, you were cashing in on the benefit, and now that things are going south, taxpayers' money, is that what you're asking, should be used to pay you back? Is that what you're asking?
It's the same thing. Don't forget this 10,000. In fact, it's the 10,000 the coalition. The actual numbers. Let me give you the actual numbers.
Signed with you.
And let's put their taxpayers, their tax together and see whether it could not pay. The actual number is 25% of the adult population is in Menzgold. Even this
25% of the adult population of Ghana.
Yes, invested in Menzgold. So even this house, there are people who invested. So the media.
The 100% of workers of GBC, or let me say those in the studio right now, 25% of them.
No, I'm not saying that. I'm saying Ghana, the adult population. I'm not saying GBC.
We are all adults here.
Yes, but I have not done a research, a study of only this, so I cannot.
But there's still the 75% of those who perhaps heeded the warning, perhaps did not have the 4,000 to buy one. Was a point of gold 4,000 cedis at the time? So 75%, majority sitting minding their business, and then everybody's money should be used to pay 716. I want to understand where you.
I get you. I get that point, because oftentimes people do ask such questions that the taxpayers' money, but that's why we have appealed to the president. I don't want us to think for the president or what Ghanaians will say, but I believe that the president, maybe this thing that we are talking about, the president has a way of going around it, just as he did for the customers of private banks, of the affected banks. That one too, it was a private investment, but the president had a policy, government had a policy of bailing out customers of the affected private banks.
Because again, the issue about licenses and ability to operate the business had been established in the case of the
But
banks.
I've demonstrated to you a while ago that in the law, the issue about licensing and non-licensing has been taken care of in the law. So that argument, I really want us to
not to interrupt you, not
yes.
to interrupt. But I understand that you're calling into our WhatsApp number rather than sending message. I know that it's a lot to say, but try and type it so that we can read it for the purpose of evidence. These are also legal issues. Let's not forget that the Nana Appiah Mensah situation is still in court, so we don't want to prejudice the case that is already before the court of our land. So if you're able to send a message, then we can defend that these were indeed your thoughts and not Thelma or the producers or GBC saying anything. So send your messages. Our WhatsApp number 055-5561-034. We are talking about 760 million Ghana cedis. You're saying that I'm not scared
just less than
because
1 billion.
I'm not scared, but 716 million can do a lot.
Yeah.
And I'm guessing that from whichever pan this is going to be taken from, that will make that pan a little lighter. So if it's coming from some education fund, or if it's coming from some road fund, if it's coming, that's the only question I'm asking. Now, where should this money come from?
That one, we'll leave it to the president. For all you know, like yesterday after the walk, after the presentation, we went back to the seat of the president. We had a
Who
short
did you
meeting.
Meet?
Director of operations. He was detailed by the president to come and receive the petition on his behalf, and he told your colleagues, your other media friends, that he was asked by the president to come and receive the petition on his behalf, and so from there he would deliver it to the president himself. And during the meeting, one of the officials said, for all you know, all these questions we've been asking, how is it going to come from, where, from which plan and all that, maybe the president himself has thought of a plan, and he's sure that when he considers the motion, the petition, and he wants to come out and respond, maybe the plan that he will put out there is going to be something that is going to be accepted by all. So that one, I wanted to leave it to him.
Okay, so apart
from
the mercy and compassion, which was beginning to sound a bit like a sermon in the beginning, what else are you asking? What are you asking the president
the other one,
to do?
yes,
because you mentioned reformation.
Three things, yes.
And
the other one also is that, you know, there's a private member's motion filed in Parliament by the Honourable Member for South Dye, and that one is also about this administrative failures that he's requesting the House to be able to pass and move constitute an ad hoc motion to pass a motion, and at the end of it, the House will recommend to the government for the government to pay. So we suggested that if our first option may not work, the president can as well adopt the motion in Parliament and see it passed. Then from there, the government can proceed to pay. The last one was the petition we sent to the Attorney General in 2019, in which we requested that, looking at the way the criminal prosecution will run, we had suggested, called for a tripartite committee system, so that we set up a committee. One is here, the leadership of the customers, we also the government rep, parliamentary rep. Then we sit around the table, discuss, bring the document, bring the funds, show us the properties. Then we can put them together. Mind you, early this year, you could obtain a court order, and the vehicles have been sold. So maybe more properties can be discovered, and when they sell them, it can assist in the payment of the customers.
So some of the comments have already started coming in. These are not my comments. Yeah. These are not GBC's comments. These are people who are watching and they are putting it to you. So you may find the need to respond to a few of them as time allows. First one, good morning. BOG has constantly warned Ghanaians about Ponzi schemes. It's only greedy people who get themselves involved in these high interest rate schemes. Tough luck.
Yes.
You hear this a lot.
Yes, I've told you.
Tough luck means, well,
I've told you that he's right. What he's saying is right. Okay.
So you are saying you were greedy.
But the authority of this word ended on the 12th.
So you are saying you were greedy.
No, no.
Because this is what he's saying. You say you agree.
Listen.
Are you agreeing with everything?
Listen, say he's right. That is why he says. if it's not right, he wouldn't have written this. But what I'm saying is that all these things, we've heard it. But what happened? What does the law say?
Okay, some people agree with you, and this one says, though we are in a hardship, I'm calling on the government to intervene on this Menzgold saga. He didn't tell us what intervention means to him. More messages coming in. Thelma, please don't mind him. When he was collecting the interest, where was the president? And now he should pay the monies collected by a private person? No way.
Let me address this.
Nana Kwesi.
People talk about private person. See, 296. We have to be fair. My other customers in other private banks, you use the word private banks. My tax.
The bank is not a person.
Listen.
Legally, the bank is not a person.
Listen. No.
Nana Pia Mensa as name.
Menzgold. We invested in Menzgold, a private entity. It is Menzgold. Other private banks, after refusing to heed the warnings, even they received bailout from government earlier on. When it finally collapsed, my tax was used to pay them. And this gentleman or this texter think that one was right. I mean, this is unfair.
Okay, so here's more coming in across our screens. Atta says, this Menzgold members should relax and find other businesses to do. They should not pressure the government at all. When they were happily putting their monies there secretly, no one heard them. Now one should pay them their money, not the president. Already, Ghana is something else. No bailouts for you people.
Thelma.
Next time, they should check the credibility of a company before they invest. They should consider those monies bad debt and non-recoverable.
This comment, they've said this for the past 4 years.
Yeah, try.
Yeah, you do government intervention.
This one says you are laughable because you invested your money to chop your interest until the company collapsed, and now you want the states to pay you with whose money? It's high time they get it clear that no president or government will use state money to pay them. I get angry anytime these people demand that they are paid by the state. This is Kofi from Accra. Menzgold was not a bank. This guy should be truthful. So let me try and get through as many of these messages as I can, and then perhaps, oops, I missed one there. Though we are in hardship and I'm calling on the government to intervene. It didn't say what the intervention was. So information to join the coalition, someone is sending you more details. Payment of this money by government will lead to the following. 1. More unlicensed deposit-taking companies will continue to spring up. 2, people will in the future not exercise due care in doing business with companies. This is because government will always refund customers' money. Alhaji Ahmed Guta is saying this from Teshi in Accra. More messages. Nana Apia will be in trouble in September 2025. Save this message. Menzgold was not a bank. I think we have read that. Someone says, Nam1 should be prosecuted. Okay, more messages coming in. Good morning, Thelma. Please ask this aggrieved customers president to tell us how much interest did he pocket in total and minus it from the main account he invested, main amount he invested. Maybe he's the one that will balance Nam1 safe. Thank you. Meanwhile, Thelma, you look adorable. Frank from Achimota. Frank, thank you. Put a smile on my face with that beautiful comment. So I agree with the beautiful part. The other part is with Mr. Forson to answer. The government must bail out the customers of Menzgold based on the law. Richmond Ajay Dakwa is saying that. Bless and Keep says, please, what about the $49,000 case Nam1 won in Dubai? But we are in Ghana, so we can only speak for the Ghana ones. Yes. And so a lot of the sentiment comes from the fact that how much have you made? What, thousands, if not more, from your time with Menzgold. So if there's debt, let's share it and take it like that.
You see, when people speak like that, I don't have a problem though. It's like asking the customers of the private banks, when you went and deposited your money in the UT bank or whatever, how much interest did you earn? Minus that from what you see, that's the logic. I mean, it's very simple.
The logic is also that UT Bank has the license to operate.
And I've told you.
The idea is Menzgold did not have the right license to operate.
Yes, UT Bank might have a license to operate, but what does the law say?
That's why I asked.
So I want to see, one thing is that all those people who are testing, when the Menzgold issue happened, a certain narrative, skewed one, was put out there.
What narrative was that?
That, like, they were warned, you were collecting interest.
Wasn't that the case?
No, I'm saying that was the narrative.
But wasn't that the case? Was it false?
Thelma, to be honest, were you aware that Bank of Ghana's own research told them that they should preserve our money? I'm not sure. I'm sure this is the first time we're hearing this. And even the people who are listening, this is the first time. So I want them to pay attention to this one. Were you aware that even though Menzgold was asked, and even I can demonstrate to you on the 3rd September letter that SEC wrote to Minerals Commission that Menzgold was a licensed company. You see, I'm doing a strategic communication, so I don't want to be dabbling in certain things. I can demonstrate to you a September 3rd letter. The Menzgold was a licensed company.
A licensed what company, though?
That is the question we can ask. Because
so was a licensed company to do what?
Listen.
We have friends in the House Commission, so they can help us.
You let me finish. You see, the president didn't say license to do what? He used the word license.
I'm asking, license to do what?
So, first of all, you agree with me that this thing was hidden from us? That they were to protect customers' money. They didn't do it. Is there any punishment for a state institution when they fail to execute their duties? Is there any punishment? So in other jurisdictions where the democracy is working, okay, governments come in with a policy to fill the gap, because this is like a lacuna in the law. Because the law didn't provide that if SEC failed in executing its mandate, this should be a punishment for the institution, SEC. So government comes in with a policy. And I believe that's the more reason why government came in with the bailout plan. Because the people are talking about the Act 9 as 130, the Banking and Deposit Act. There's nowhere in that law that says that if a bank, because those banks, their management practices were faulty, government should come in to come and build them. So government came in with a policy. It is the more reason why we are appealing to the government. So those of you who are texting, I agree with you. But the document I've displayed here and the explanation you have given, take your time. Don't run on emotions or what you have been fed, what you have been wrongfully indoctrinated. Go to the law, understand the law, and now come up. Don't say, oh, you dealt with a private bank. Because if we say private bank, other private banks to have been built. They were licensed. Menzgold was licensed by Minerals Commission. And there's no law that says that if a Bank of Ghana licenses you, as for you, dear, my tax can be used to bail you out. There's no law. So the president, in his own wisdom, decided to go in.
Through mercy and compassion.
I'm
trying to, also find answers for those who are watching us as well. And it all comes down to money. So whether someone is making a legal point or an illegal point, or they know the law or they do not know the law. The question is, we are all fixed. Now you're asking that let's assume that the small money that is on the table for all of us, because you did not heed the warnings. No,
who told you the money is small? Is there any evidence?
Well, it may be, in the billions and billions of dollars. But we are saying that for the purposes of running affairs of the state, the monies available to us as Ghana are limited now. Because we are before the IMF, we are fighting our own international, financial battles. And you are asking that the small one, maybe Ilevi Kakra, this Kakra,
I'm not comfortable hospital, with the word small one,
government levies Kakra, and you want 30.8 million people's money to be given for this aggrieved group, 10,300.
To 1 million people.
Meanwhile, the 29 million people
were
sitting in the corner quiet.
And 4.6 million people were paid for my sweat. That one is fair.
So go after the company.
Thelma.
Go after the company. I'm not saying anything. I'm suggesting
that
go after the company, perhaps, because it is the company that owes you that money. So who is the company here?
I want you to be my counsel.
I'm not a lawyer.
At least.
Maybe I might go to law school. Hey.
You are advising us. So you are.
I'm reading the comments, and based on what the public
we should
is
go
saying,
after number one.
Is that an option?
We have done that one for the past 4 years.
And what's the state of that agitation?
People should take their time and understand. 12 September, when it was collapsed, 2019, government went for the bank account of the company, all the assets. So when you go to him, it's empty.
Have you found out whether the monies owed customers were in the bank account of Menzgold at the time Menzgold was closed down? Because then I would think that that would be a basis for you to say the monies were there. If you're customers or shareholders of a company, the account of the company should be available to you, or you should have a way to access that information.
Yes. You know, we can only know what is in the account by the government. I remember about a month ago, we sent a team to Yoko and the AG's office. We wanted to know the outcome of the sale of the vehicles. We were directed to go to AG. So we did a letter requesting for some certain disclosures. Even though the AG has given me a letter that they are still in the process of compiling them. It is there that these disclosures will come. But you see, have you asked? We went to him. He pulled a trigger on us. January 2020, number one. He said, you are aware my bank account has been frozen by the state. Yes, it's true. My assets have been frozen by the state. You see, let's get this clear. 12th September, per the action government took, the responsibility of paying the customers shifted from Menzgold to the government. We may debate about it for years. This is facts. But right now, if government comes here and says the GBC shut down, your clients, where are they going to get their money? Shut down, not only shut down, they've taken over all your assets. How do you pay? How do you pay them? So these are some realities, but that, like I'm saying, that thing was put out there. We were warned. So it's in the person's mind, subconscious. They went and somebody was even using a word. I don't know what is the meaning of the word poison. I've searched through this document. It's not there. It's an imported word. It's not there. It's not there.
But the bit about you were enjoying payments for a while.
That's why yes. Well, I save in my bank is ADB. Why are you not asking me how much do I earn from ADB? But I want to know what I earn in Menzgold. I save in Access Bank. Why are you not asking me how much do I earn in Access Bank? But you are interested in what I got from Menzgold. Okay.
So more questions on our screen. Let's see what this customer is saying. Good morning. Please, what the customers are saying is so pathetic because I'm not sure the government can pay them. They were warned, but they did not listen. And how can we use the nation's money to pay them? They should send the case to court to retrieve their money. Ado from Odoko. Same card issues occupying someone's thoughts there. Good morning, my sister. It's not that Nam1 cannot pay them, but the money is with the government. My sister, let me ask you this question. If you open a bank account and it's done for 5 years, what happened to your account? I guess the bank will close your account. Ask yourself, where is that money going to? I don't want to hear what people are saying, that they should use taxpayers' money to pay them. So I'm not quite sure which direction this texter is going. Talking about dormant accounts and the money is still there. It's in government. The money is with government. But he does not agree that we should use taxpayers' money to pay you.
For 3 years, the asset and the bank accounts of the company is with the government. So now Nam1 is technically bankless. He doesn't have a bank account, or the company doesn't have a bank account. So even when you go to him, people have won court judgment and they are not able to execute it.
I'm not sure the customers of Menzgold is out for argument with the government, but if he's able to have compassion on other banks, then the government should try as much as possible to free Menzgold customers because they are also Ghanaians. They're flying on the screen this morning, and this guy is still typing. Good morning. What they are asking for is their monies. What we should be looking at is how to retrieve the monies from Nam1. But the person in question is MIA. We should be tackling this issue from there. Then he just brings back the monies people invested. Where did it go? Can it be retrieved? And that's why I asked you the question. Do you have an idea of what was in the bank accounts of Menzgold at the time the SEC shut the company down?
I'll keep on repeating it. I'll not change my language. 12th September, you collapsed the company. You sat down for 5 good months before you went out there to freeze the bank account. How do I get access to money in the account? Do you think even if it were you, will you keep the money in the account for 5 years, for 5 months? So that is the question. People
You're suggesting that the company may have emptied the account
and do whatever it wants. It's not about where is the money, whether the money is in that. If you had asked me this question on the 12th of September, I could have given you the answer. But today, 2022, September 13, 2022, you're asking me, is the money sitting in the account with the government?
So can we assume that the company, as Menzgold, owed you that responsibility to pay back the monies within the 5 months before the government hand was placed on its coffers? And this one is saying back and forth will only drag this matter into an abyss. We should stop chasing shadows and get the right things done.
Let's get it done. I'm saying that this thing is clear. When you were going there, this is what you should do. So if you don't do that, then you are at fault. Then you have to take the responsibility. It's very simple. See, men, we are not fighting with anybody. We are saying that what you are saying is wrong or right. All that we are saying is that this is what the law provided. And listen to me. This law was passed by Parliament. Do you know the people in Parliament? They are our representatives. So when they were making this law, they thought about the future. They thought about how to secure the money, assuming this company's money, which is public funds, to be invested in Menzgold. So the first of the law thought that...
Mr. Forson, 30 seconds. You are asking the president for something on behalf of aggrieved customers of Menzgold. What is it? 30 seconds.
We are asking the president that when he intervenes, he should intervene for us to receive our money.
Mr. Frederick Forson speaks for the aggrieved customers of Menzgold, asking the president to show mercy and compassion in order for the locked-up investments of Menzgold, gold dealership to be released, and 716 million of accumulated funds belonging to some 10,300 members of this group to be paid to them. Conversation continues another time. For now, we'll take a quick break. When we return, arts, scenes, and the conference on the cards, Valerie has that conversation.